Hey guys, it's Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. Got an awesome one today. We'll learn how to play Get the Funk Out by Extreme. Nuno Bettencourt, the man, one of my favorite guitar players of all time. And this is just an epic tune. Incredible, really cool, funky riffs. I think it has a guitar solo in it too. Let me remember. Yeah, it has a guitar solo in it too. So I'll cover that as well. That is sarcasm, by the way. Yes, it has probably one of the most epic guitar solos ever recorded. We're going to cover that one as well. So we're going to go through the entire tune. So bear with me here. Hopefully you'll hang out for it. Before I get into it though, please subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and ring that notification bell so you know when I do a video. So you can like and comment on the videos. It really helps the YouTube algorithm. It helps more people actually see this video in their feed. And if you really want to support what I do here on YouTube, the best way to do it is actually join my Guitar Academy. You're going to see a link to that in the description below. That's my online guitar school. It's a GL365 Academy. It contains all of my guitar courses. You get full access to all the courses with just one subscription. We got courses for complete beginners to more advanced stuff, and courses in technique, improvisation, ear training, theory, guitar tone. You get personalized support from me whenever you need it. And I also go live with just Academy members, kind of live video chat with me every weekend, every Saturday. So that's really cool, and you can get your questions answered in real time. So let's jump into the song. I'm tuned down a half step, so just tune every single string from E down to E flat, A down to A flat, D down to D flat, G down to G flat, B down to B flat, and E down to E flat. If your tuner reads sharps and not flats, which happens from time to time, it's going to be, the low E string is going to be a D sharp. The A string will be a G sharp. Tune it down to a G sharp. Tune the D string down to a C sharp. G string down to an F sharp. B string down to an A sharp. And E string down to a D sharp. All right, so let's jump into the track. We're going to start with this kind of a muted thing, a little funky thing. Into the actual verse. So that's just, you kind of want to really mute all the strings. I'm holding that note at the 15th fret on the high E string just with my pinky and really muting all the other strings. So you just kind of pick that high E string once, a couple times. And then there's a couple of hits. Kind of a couple of muted hits. And then you hit it, before you hit it a couple times again, so it goes. And then the last time, it's a quick little burst there. So we have this. And then goes into the verse. So the verse riff, really cool. So you basically do that 3 times. So you're going to start here. Now, when you say these chords, he's kind of like he's letting the side of his thumb brush the strings with the pick to create those pinch harmonics. So it's not straight like. It doesn't sound like that. It sounds like that, and he's getting that by doing it with pinch harmonics. So just in front of the pick, you're letting the edge of the thumb, the flesh of the thumb, kind of scrape the string as you're scraping with the pick. Just on those double stops there. So he's playing those the 3rd fret on the D and the G, slide it up to the 5th fret, and then back down. So, and then there's a quick couple of muted hits at the 3rd fret on the low E string. So you can just grab that with your middle finger. So then you do the slide up and down again, and then the muted hits again. So we have this. And then you're gonna jump up here and first do a bar at the 5th fret across the D, G, and the B. Now before you hit it though, play the 6th fret there on the B string in front of it there. So it's 5 on the D, 5 on the G, 6 on the B. And then lift up that finger back to just a C major triad. I know this is a C flat. I mean, it's tuned down, so the notes I'm naming aren't exact notes that they are, but you know, that's how we do it here. So. Like that. And then to go back to this, there's a quick little, which is a quick open A string, and then 1st fret there on the A. 0, 1 on the A. To kind of start the riff over. So that is very heavily palmated. So all together we have this. So you do that slide again and back down to picking the 3s. And then we have this. So we have this. Hit the 3rd fret now on the low E string. Play that with your ring finger. A couple times there, heavily palmated. And then you're gonna play this octave shape, which is the 1st fret on the A, 3rd fret there on the G. Slide up to the 3rd fret, and back down to 1. And then there's 3 hits on the G. So up, down, up there on the low E string, 3rd fret, and then back to the slides with the octaves again. And back down on 1. So we have this. Like that, so we have this. So all together for the riff. Repeat. So we basically did it 3 times, and then we get to the pre-chorus, which sounds like this. Takes us to the chorus. So pretty easy, a pre-chorus here. We just have a power chord, this B flat power chord. So that's the 1st fret on the A string, 3rd fret on the D and the G. Move that up to the C power chord, just move it up 2 frets. And then he's gonna do some dominant 9 chords. So we're gonna first start with an E flat dominant 9. So that's going to be the 6th fret there on the A, 5 on the D, 6 on the G, and 6 on the B string. That's that 9th up there. Then just take that chord and move it up 2 frets. Kind of play a little funky rhythm on it too. So it's. All right, and then we get to the chorus. The first chorus, at least, looks like this. It's a little bit shorter than the other choruses. It looks like this. All right, so that's going to start with this G open G power chord. So it's just basically the third fret on the low E. The A string is muted by the bottom of that finger. There, it's the bottom of the middle finger. Open D, open G, third fret on the B and the high E. And when he strums it, he does a quick upstroke and really catch it, the kind of really the top couple strings there. And then so that's just 3 on the low E string, then 5, 6, then back to the 3 a couple times, then back 5 to 5, 6, and then 3. You do a little slight little pinch harmonic and some vibrato on it. So it's that same riff done twice. All right, now we have something interesting here. We're going to start here this first time through. We're just going to do it with a regular C power chord. So you just play the C power chord at the third fret of the A string. Then we have this. So after you play that C power chord, basically what you're going to do is you're going to pull off 3 to 0 on the A string. And then you're going to hammer 6 to 7 on the A. When you hammer 6 to 7, jump over to the 5th fret there on the G, then back down to that 7th fret there on the A. So it is. And then we're going to have this, which is kind of the same lick. You're going to hammer 6 to 7 on the A string, back to that 5 on the G, but this time you're going to resolve to the 8th fret of the A instead of the 7th. So the first time is, and then we have this. So this. Then we have this. Then we do that again, that hammer 6 to 7 on the A, and then over to that 5 on the G again, and then this little ending. So that's sliding 7 to 8 on the D. Pick that again, then 7, 5, and then jump down here, open D string, and then hammer on the 2nd fret. Now that little move right there could be played here, which I'm going to do at the end because it sounds like the end of this time he kind of slides that note down. But when he's just doing the chorus, just repeating the chorus, he does the hammer here. You can see it live when he does it. So we have this. Because he's right there now to grab that G again. So after that hammer on from 0 to 2 on the D, go back to the G and start the riff over again. Now it's going to be pretty much the same riff, but instead of playing the C power chord here, you're going to play this C9 chord again. So that's, well, we did the E flat 9 and the F9, but it's just the C9 here at the 3rd fret there on the A, 2nd on the D, 3rd on the G, and 3 on the B. And then from there, it's the same thing pretty much. Start with that 3 to 0 pull-up. But this last time, instead of going Well, you can still do that hammer on here and then slide it down, but it's kind of easier to do that ending slide. Just go and do the hammer on from 5 to 7, then hammer on, slide it down. Since you don't have to repeat the riff over, you don't have to go back to the G, it kind of makes sense, you can just do it there. So that first chorus was just, you just play the riff twice, basically. And the C chords go from a C power chord to a C9 chord. Anyway, so then we get through the same verse again that we did at the beginning of the song. Same pre-chorus, and now we get to the second chorus. Now the second chorus is longer, and it's got a little bit different chord work going on in it from time to time. So it looks like this. All right, fun stuff. So we are starting with this pretty much the same chorus that we did before. Now, the second time through here, now after you've done that chorus pretty much exactly like you did the first chorus, you continue in doing it again, except when you do this G chord, instead of going, you do this. So that's, I'm gonna play the 3rd fret there on the G, 5th fret there on the B. And pick that slide up 1 fret. So you kind of pick it a couple times after you do the slide and then just repeat it. So it is. Repeat. And then you can just kind of do the same ending with that C9 chord. Repeat that again. So this is kind of the 4th time playing the riff, and when we finish those little, the second time through those little double stops, we have this quick little ending that takes us out of the last, this second chorus, which is this. That kind of takes us to the bridge. So that's going to be 5-3 on the G, and then 5-3 on the D. And then play 3. The next group of 4 is 3 on the G, 5-3 on the D, to 5 on the A. So this. One more time. Then the next group of 4 is gonna be 5-3 on the D and 5-4 on the A. So this. All right, the next group of 4 is gonna be 3 on the D and then 5-4-3 on the A. So this. And then we're gonna end it like this. So that goes 5-4-3 down to 1. Gonna hit that 1 twice though. And then back to 3, back to the 1. And then 1 on the low E, and then 2 on the low E. So with some vibrato. So I have this. Up to speed. Really grab those notes and accent them. And then that takes us to the bridge riff, which looks like this. All right, so we're gonna start. These are pretty heavily palm muted. And there's a, first you start with 1-0 on the, 1-3 on the A string. And then you quickly kill it. So it's a very staccato feel that he's got here. So you do the 1-3, and then you can start doing this chromatic thing, which is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the D string, and he's really kind of lifting up lifting up the note each time in between to create that staccato. So he's not going. And then we're going to end it. The last 3 notes is 3, 4, 5 on the G. And those are just played straight through. So I have this. So how you want to play this is you're going to be doing mostly upstrokes. So we'll have this down, up, down, down, A little bit tricky at first. You get your hand just going in that kind of that nice feel. And then it's kind of the same thing. So after you do that twice. Okay. And then you do basically the same thing, but starting on the low E string. So it's like 1-3 on the low E, and then do that chromatic line at the A string. And then 3, 4, 5 on the D. And then we're going to end it like this. So we have this 1-3 there. And then the 1, 2, 3 on the A, and then when you get to that 3, we have a quick. You pick when you get to the 3rd fret there. You're gonna do basically you get there to the 3rd fret, and then pick it again. Slide it up to 4, back down to 3, pull off to 1, and then play 3, 1 on the A and 3, 1 on the low E. So all together for the riff. And then from there, just kind of start the riff over again. So you basically do that whole riff twice, and then we have made it to the solo. So I'm going to play through Nuno's really amazing solo here for you, and then I'll show you how to play it note for note. So here we go. All right, so we have our work cut out for us right here. This thing is a beast. What can you say about this solo? It's just got so many like cool like funky licks in it, and just like really just a completely epic tapping section. So, all right, let's just jump into it. There's no words for it really. So let's start with this beginning of it. So we're gonna start here with this oblique bend, oblique. So that's gonna be holding the 18th fret there on the B, and then bending up the 17th fret there on the G with it. So you hit them together first, then you start just doing the bend on the G, and then picking the 18th fret there on the B. And if you're like me, you got like a floating trim system, that note on the B string might go a little bit out of tune. What? Not a lot you can do about it. So after you do that a little bit, so after about 3 times of doing that, then we have this. So that's a bend and release at the 17, pull off to 15, over to 17 on the D, and back hammer 15 to 17 on the G. Then we have this. So that's going to be a bend and release at the 17th fret, pull off to 15, over to 17 on the D, back to 15, hit that twice, and then play 17, 15 on the D. Then, sorry. And we're going to jump over here real quick to 15 on the high E, roll over to 15 on the B, into a bend there. He does it with his pinky at the 18th fret there on the B string. So we have this. So all together. All right, now we have this kind of repetitive thing going. So that lick, how he's doing that lick is first you're gonna play the you can kind of bar the 15th fret across the high E and the B. So he's picking the high E string with an upstroke. Then he's picking the 18th fret there on the B string with a downstroke. Pulling off to 15, so we have this. Then what he does on the G string is he does a hammer-on from nowhere at the 18th fret there on the G. So it's a 4-note lick. The first one's picked, first and second one are picked. Pull off to the 3rd note, and then hammer on from nowhere the 4th note. So we have this. And then after he does it a few times, just kind of just pulls off, goes down 18, 17 to 15 on the G. And then pick, kind of do in the middle of the slide, you slide down to the 8th fret there on the D string. All right, so this. All right, now we start the tapping madness. Now, what do you do with the pick? Well, what I do is what Nuno does, is I'm gonna move the pick to here. So I'm just between the 2 knuckle joints there of my middle finger. So it makes it really easy to go back and grab it again to pick with, and then just kind of tuck it away while I'm doing the tapping with my index finger. That is how Nuno did. This is actually why I do it this way. Is when they interviewed Nuno in a guitar magazine back in the very early 90s. And I read it, and I saw what he showed what he did with his pick, so I kind of emulated it. So since then, it's become just very natural for me to do that. very cool. But so anyway, when you're doing it, you gotta have something to do with the picks. Well, so they're not slide, you can tuck that pick away. And then we start the tapping sequence. So this first one through here, so the last two are very similar, but the first two tapping sections that we're gonna be doing are a little bit different. So I'll take a look at that first. So we had this. So I count that as like the first section. That's kind of how I've divided it up in my brain, at least. My brain is a bit of a mess, but anyway, let's do it this way. So I'm gonna tap after you slid down to this 8, right, on the D, you're gonna tap 15 on the D string, pull off to 8, then hammer on 10. So you're gonna wanna use these fingerings that I got going here. And then you're gonna tap 15 on the G, pull off to 7, and then hammer on 10. Then you're gonna tap 13 on the high E string, pull off to 6, and then hammer on 10. So that's the whole ascending portion. Now when we descend, so we're gonna basically, we're here now, right? So we're gonna tap 13 again to start the descending line. So we're gonna tap 13, pull off to 10, pull off to 6. And then we have another hammer on from nowhere here. We're gonna hammer on 10 on the G string with your pinky, then tap the 15th fret there on the G. Then pull off to that 10, and then pull off to this 7. So we have this. Then you're gonna hammer on from nowhere the 8th fret there on the D string, and then you're gonna tap 15 on the D, pull back off, and you're gonna ascend here. Hammer it, when you pull back off to the 8, hammer up to 10. And then just to end this section, you're gonna jump up here and tap 17, pull off to 10, and hammer on 12. So you basically move everything up 2 frets to set up the next arpeggio. So we have this. Now, when we get to this next arpeggio out of this one's a little unique because it has this. So it has this. So what is going on there? So he's basically, so after this first tap that we did moving up, tapping 17 and hammer, pull off to 10 and hammer 12. You tap on the 17th ascending. You're gonna tap 17 on the G, but you can pull off to 9, and then the hammer on from nowhere on the 12th fret there on the D. So it looks like this. So it's a little bit different than when he was hammering that 12 on the G. He mixes it up. Hammers on the 12th fret there on the D instead. So make sure you let go of this 9 when you get over to the D. You want to. It's a little tricky, and for a minute I was like, God, what is he doing there? Because it sounds like he's doing this, but he's up here. So I'm like, how's he doing that? And then I figured it out. He's doing a hammer on from nowhere. So we have this. Then jump up here to grab 15 on the high E string. Pull off to 8, hammer 12, and then tap again. I'm going to start descending now. 15 on the, pull off to 12, pull off to 8, hammer on from nowhere, the 12th fret on the G, and then tap 17 on the G, pull back off to that 12, pull off to 9, and then here, we're not gonna tap the string, we're not gonna actually play a note and hammer on from nowhere before we start the tap, we're just gonna do this to end it. So we have this 17, pull off to 10, hammer 12, and do that twice. So this whole new section, remember, after we did this, here, starting here, we have this. So all together so far, real slow. Now he starts going a little bit quicker, but it's a little bit more consistent, the pattern too. So we're gonna... So we're up here now. What we're doing is we're gonna tap here at the 20th fret there on the D. Pull off to 13, hammer 15. Kind of a familiar pattern going up. Then you're gonna tap 20 on the G string, pull off to 12, hammer 15, so we have this. Then tap on the 18th fret on the high string, pull off to 11, and hammer 15, so we have this. Sorry. Then you're gonna tap again and start the same 18th fret and kind of start the descending lick, which is similar to the previous ones. Tap, pull off to 15, pull off to 11, hammer on from nowhere, the 15th fret there on the G, then tap 20, pull back off to that 15, pull off to 12, then hammer on from nowhere, that 13th fret. So that's really the lick. So we start here. So when we get here, we just basically repeat what we just did. And then when you get here the second time, hammer on there, slide it up to the 15th fret, and then we're gonna do the exact same thing 2 frets higher. So all right, so basically the same thing we did here. Move everything up 2 frets. So you just slid from that second time, and when you hammer on, you ended the lick at hammer on from nowhere on 13. Slide it up to 15, and now we're gonna tap 22nd fret. Pull off to 15, hammer on 15, hammer on 17. Then tap 22 on the G, pull off to 14, hammer on 17. So exact same thing we did 2 frets lower. Then tap 20, pull off to 17, hammer, pull off to 13, hammer 17. It's too many numbers here. And then same thing as before, tap that again, pull off to 17, pull off to 13, hammer from nowhere at the 17th on the G, tap 22, pull back off to that 17, pull off to 14, hammer on from nowhere that 15, and then start the pattern again. So when we get up to the top the second time through here, he does a quick little, and just as soon as he gets up to the top, he starts ending it by going. It's just a quick little thing, you know, this little part, he gets a little bit different each time live because he's got to grab his pick really quick. So it's kind of just kind of really trying to just kind of keep it, just do a kind of a little burst, a little blur of notes there, which is just kind of really ends up being kind of tapping 21 and pulling off the 19 a couple times, and then move it up 1 fret to 22, tap, pull off to 20. So All right, so altogether for this, the second section, so we have this, just kind of that very ending he just kind of creates noise anyway at the very end. All right, so that gets us through the tapping section, which is by far the hardest part of the solo, but there are quite challenging parts to come still. So we have this coming next. So that kind of thing going there. So this one he does as a big stretch. So we have this. So that's 18 on the high E to 12. And so you're picking that 18 a few times and then into 12 once. Then we have this. That's going to pick step 15 there, hammer on 18, pull back off to 15, pull off to 12. So then you pick 15, 18 again. Then we're gonna have this. So that is gonna be 15 on the high E, 17, 18 on the B. You're gonna do that twice. Playing these a little staccato as well too. And then you're gonna play 15, 17, 18 on the B, so that 15 is moved over to the B string. Then you can play 15, 12 on the B, and then 18, 15, 12 on the B again. So all together for that section. So there are other ways to play that without the big stretches, but that is how Nuno plays it, so that's how we're gonna learn it. Then we have this. This is such a fun solo to play. So we have this. So you start here at the 12th fret there on the G string. Then over to the 13th fret there on the B. Then you pick that 12 again, slide down to 11. Then hit that 13 on the B string. Then pick that 11 a couple times. Slide down to 10. Back to 13 on the B. Hit that 10. Slide up to 11. Back to that 13. So it's kind of. Now how he plays this is he does all downstrokes on the G. Obviously with that slide too, and then upstroke there in the B. So we started here to the 12, slide down to 11, down to 10, back to 11, and start over, down. So when you get kind of halfway through the second time doing that lick, he jumps up into this. Sorry. So that's going to be a bend at the 17th fret there on the G string, over to 15 on there on the B string, pull off 18 to 15 on the B, over to 18 on the G, and then hop up to the 15th fret on the high E string. Then pull off 18 to 15 there on the B, and then 18, pull off 17, 15 on the G. So then we go back into those oblique bends that we kind of started the solo with. A couple of them. And then it's a quick kind of a bend and release there on the 17th fret. Pull off to 15, then play 17, 15 again. And then a quick little slide up the G string from the 17th fret. And then back to that 15. And the next section looks like this. So we're going to play 17, 15 on the G, over to 17 on the D, and then play 15, 18 on the G. So after we get here, then it's straight ascending, starting for the 17th fret on the D. You're going to go 17th on the D, then 15, 17, 18 on the G. Then chromatically here, we're going to go 15, 16, 17, 18. But there's a little staccato here. And then same thing on the high E string. That last note, pick it a couple times, and then into a bend, and then up a bend at the 20th fret. Play this. All right, and then at the very end of the solo, we have this. So that's going to be playing 18th fret there on the B string to 15 on the high E, and then 18 on the high E. So we have this. You can do that twice. And then back to 18th fret there on the B, and you kind of slide it down real quick. And then we have a quick little blues like that ends the solo. There's some vocals coming in over this, so it's kind of hard to hear, but we have this. (18, 15) on the high E, 18, 15 on the B, then 18, 17, 15 on the G. Over to 17 on the D, and then back to 15 on the G. Just a quick little bend at the 17th fret, and then back to the 15th fret there on the G to end it. Woo! All right, so if you get through that thing, congratulations. It is a beast. So now out of the solo, we just have the kind of the outro chorus, which is played a little different. It's kind of combining a lot of sections of the song. That little descending riff is it. And we had that kind of thing in there too. So let me just play through kind of the outro chorus. There is some kind of a little overdubbed guitar solo on here, but I'm not going to really do that. It's kind of really low in the mix. He doesn't play it live. It's better just kind of stick with the rhythm guitar parts, I think, here too. So we did the solo, so good enough. So let's start with the outro chorus here. All right, so we basically start with the same, just as the first chorus. second time now playing the riff, you're gonna do those double stops. So you just do that much of it though. You don't do the ending here. We had this little descending riff that happens. So that's the same riff that we did earlier, the same little descending lick that led us into the bridge. Except now we just go 1, 2, back to, start the riff over again, the chorus over again. So you're gonna do it 4 times from here. Now what I'm doing here, these 4 times that end it, after that little descending riff, 4 times I'm playing the chorus, I mix it up. Sometimes I'll play a C power chord, sometimes it'll be the C9 chord. And sometimes I'll do the double stops. Kind of really up to you. He's kind of layering, I think, a bunch of them over each other in the outro, so there's a lot going on there. So it's kind of like do whatever you want there. So you're going to play the riff 4 times total, though. Then. So we had that same little ending there, same descending riff after the 4th time through the chorus, and then we're going to end the song. So I'm playing that G a little differently at the end, just because he slides it down, and it's a lot easier than sliding down the open. Generally slide that down. So that's why I'm playing that G a little different there at the very end of the song. But it's that same bridge riff, very beginning of the bridge riff. It just does it 1 time though. Then I just go over here and grab this G power chord and kind of slide it down off the guitar. And that is it for Get the Funk Out. It is a beast. You know, Nuno has always been one of my favorite. I even named one of my dogs after Nuno Bettencourt. He is just incredible to me. He's not only one of the greatest lead guitar players in the world, I think he is probably one of the greatest rhythm guitar players in the world. So all of Pornography, I think that is wall to wall probably for like just true solid rock guitar. It's kind of up there with Van Halen 1 for me as just straight, it's got everything, just amazing rhythm guitar playing and this absolutely virtuosic but highly melodic guitar solos. So just a lot of attitude, great tone, just great songwriting, great riff writing. So if you don't know that whole album, it is one of the funnest guitar albums to listen to. So please go check it out. And if you guys want me to, I'll do some more songs on that album too. It's a lot of fun. All right, so I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.